Welcome back to the Diary of Bookaholic. My name's Dorothy. Today we have my weekly reading wrap-up. Some laundry list stuff to go over. Pretty soon I'll be starting a job. I'll be working third shift, so the week I'm filming this I'm trying to switch my schedule from a second shift schedule, sleeping schedule, to a third shift one. But with that said, let's get to the books. This weekend I finished Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shea Ernshaw. This book I really did enjoy. Did have some slow moments at times. I'll probably do a spoilery review on my blog, so if you want to check that out, the link to my blog will be down below. I'll probably end up giving this either a 4th, 5-star read. I really did enjoy it, and it brought back like the Nightmare Before Christmas feels, but extended the story as well. You get to see a little glimpses of pretty much all the little towns you see in Nightmare Before Christmas, in that scene where they show all the different holiday towns. And you get a new one in this one. So with that said, that's that book. I did read 3 stories in here. Again, with this, each story they give you a little bit about the haunting and a little bit of the history of where the haunting takes place. I feel like they're glossing over so much information. And even ones like, it kind of contradicts itself. It says that there's no ghosts that shows up there, but then they do like frequency, intensity, and what type of haunting at each of those stories. And it's like, oh, it's a level 2 out of 3 or whatever their level system is. And it's like, you just literally said that they don't have any hauntings really. It's just more like eerie feelings, and then you say, oh, it's very frequent and very intense. I'll finish this. I have about 3 more stories left in there, so I'll finish those up this week and see what I think of it overall. So far it started off decently enough, but it's starting to go downhill because a few of them are like 3 pages, and it does have some different photographs and stuff for different stories of like the places or people that those hauntings are about, but it's interesting to read some of what they're writing, but it feels like it's not enough. Like they just did the surface level of research just to write the book, and that's it. They didn't dig any deeper. So we'll see later on when I finish this what I rated. I haven't read too much. I read a few pages, like 3 or 4 poems of Poe. One of them was Annabelle Lee, which is another very well-known poem by him, but it's getting late for me, early for most people, and I'm getting ready to take a shower and go to bed, so figured do this update and then finish my section later on today. Which I'll probably go until I finish the poetry, because I have like 1 poem. It's a really long poem. Along with that, I read a little bit of, and mostly read McCoy. Got to page 102 in that, along with very little bit, minimal of Blood Mercy. I think a page or 2 of that. It's not really gripping me. And I'm kind of confused with what's going on, because it feels like it's changed POV or something at some point. And I read a bit of Born to Survive. I'm on page 73 of that, so I have about 100 pages left of that one. With that said, I haven't listened to any more of The Stand, but I will be. I'm thinking about trying to finish this up within the next day or 2, and then starting Nightbitch by Rachel Yoder. So hopefully I can get that going, because I only have 7 days left of that hold for that book. For both of them, actually. Physically, I'm going to pick up I'm the Girl by Courtney Summers. So this is my next main physical read. I want to try to finish this week. Not because I'm starting working next week, but because I want to try to finish a book a week. I still have about 3 more books on my October TBR to read, along with these. So with that said, that's all I have for this update. I'll see you later with another one. Hey guys, here with another update. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to get my schedule flipped around, so technically it's morning for me even though it's evening. So before I went to bed last night, in the shower, I listened to a little bit more of The Stand. I'll talk more about this later. Also, read a little bit of Born to Survive. I got to page 80 of that. I read a chapter of The Mostly Real McCoy and got to page 106 of that, so I'm about 40% in that one. And then I read a little bit, I finished the chapter I've been working on for days, Blood Mercy, and got to page 42 in that, so about 6% in that, not very far. And that's what I read before I fell asleep. Since I've woken up, I've read about 10 pages of I'm the Girl by Courtney Summers. So far, I'm intrigued. I haven't gotten far enough into it to really have a opinion if I'm going to like it or not, but I'm intrigued with what I've read so far. I'm slowly making my way through a little bit of poetry I have left. The last poem is very long. It's actually a part, like a glimpse in a play, and it's very dry. So I'm going to try to get through that tonight, finish that, and then read some more of I'm the Girl. I've also been listening to this off and on when I do chores, when I'm folding laundry or whatever. And I'm finding this, hate to say this because I do love Stephen King's movies and books. I'm finding this book to be very boring. It's just a lot of people traveling here, traveling there. The beginning was very interesting because it's when the outbreak happens. But now it's just, oh, so-and-so is with so-and-so and are traveling along the road, and they're these type of people, and it's just feeling very boring to me, so I might end up DNFing it. I think I'll give it tonight, see if I'll like it or not. But other than that, I might end up DNFing it, because right now I'm over 50% of it and I'm not really enjoying it. And that's sad to say. I've yet to pick up Ghost of Cincinnati. We'll see when I'll pick this up tonight, because I want to get at least one of the 3 stories I've left in it read tonight. That's all I have for this update, so I'll see you later in the next one. Back with another update. I did finish that poem I was working on in here, and with that I finished the poetry. So we'll be starting his fiction work, his like short stories. That poem or play or whatever you want to call it was very, as I said earlier, dry. I kept losing my place and having to reread passages and pages. So it took me quite a bit of time to read. Who knows, like maybe 14 pages. Other than that, I don't really have any in-depth thoughts on this so far. It's just a lot of either quick or long poems. Probably later on today I'll get to the fiction in this, or tomorrow. I did read the next little story in this one. This one was about the Prohibition era and a ghost that's from that era that haunts a park or a gazebo or something in Cincinnati. It did go into a lot more into the background on this ghost and stuff, but it's one of the few that actually gives a lot of information on like what happened before they died, and it's not going into great depth of the ghost's life, but like right before she died it tells what happened, like how she died and everything. But the ghost is apparently called the Black Widow. Other than that, I just feel like some of the stories are some of the stories are like kind of oversimplified, and there's just surface level, and then other ones they dig a little deeper but still not quite enough. So with that, I think I have about 2 more stories. I'll finish them. I'll read at least one more later on today, and then another one tomorrow, and then be done with this. I read a small amount of I'm the Girl. It got to the point where I physically couldn't read anymore. I'm so tired, especially with switching my schedule around and stuff. I am still intrigued with this book. So far, I'm only 17 pages into it. Not even 17. I think I'm like 14. This is how tired I am. I don't know how far I am in this book. So far, it's hard to piece together what's going on. I've a few chapters in and it just feels like it's jumping around. From all I know so far is there's a girl who's dead and someone's gotten hit by a car or something. So we'll see how I like this book as I continue. Hopefully I can get a lot more of this read this week. So far it's a slow going. I also, since I couldn't physically read, put on a video game. Listen to this down, I got to 62%. I'm still finding it very boring. Like, there's nothing going on. Like, the story isn't progressing so much. It feels like I'm listening to hours of just the same thing. I'm gonna stop rambling and just going off into space here. I'm just not enjoying the stand. So I might try later on today if I don't even go to pick it up voluntarily, just not without thinking about going for my phone and turning on the audiobook. We'll see. I do have to take a shower before I go to bed. I'll probably listen to a little bit more of it. Otherwise, that's all I have for this update. See you with another one later. Here with another update. I read to page 25 and I'm the girl. Still not very far into it. Still trying to piece together what's going on and everything with this book. So far what I got, there's a girl who died and then there's a girl who got hit by a car either within the same time frame or something. I don't really know. It's very spotty with the information it gives you because our main character don't remember what happened. She doesn't remember getting hit by the car. So with that, I am enjoying it. I will say that. Just haven't had a lot of time to read. I've been distracted by watching YouTube, listening to music, cleaning a bit, also getting some sleep. But other than that, it is going okay for me. Keeping me interested in what the heck's going on. It's just confusing me a lot. I have been listening to The Stand. I got to about 75%, so I probably will finish it. I just don't know if I'll finish it today or tomorrow. We'll see. But I've been listening to this while I clean the house or do my computer work or whatever. I'm still not really enjoying it. Kind of just feels like a long-winded book. Like, a lot of the interesting stuff happened in the beginning and now it's just a lot of what's going on. Nothing's really happening. You're just going along and it's just it's hard to explain what I'm talking about. It's almost like The Walking Dead, but there's not walkers. It's just this disease. There's no zombies or anything. It's just you're going on to their daily life of going from one place to another, traveling, or just kind of day-to-day life stuff, and it's getting a little boring. Before I fell asleep last night, I did read a little bit of Born to Survive. I got to page 84, so I'm 46% of the way through that one. I don't know if this is, I can't remember if this is a non-fiction, this is the author's life. I think it is, because the way it's written like that. But it's very, very, I don't want to say depressing, but it's very sad. The things she had to go through in life and how unstable her home life was. And the amount of abuse she went through. I also read a chapter in The Mostly Real McCoy. Got to page 112, 42% of the way in through this one. This is a romance book. It goes between two characters. You have our female lead and our male. And our female lead, she's, from what I got, and she can't have kids, but she loves children. Even though she's told our male characters she doesn't like children. She used to be a teacher. She moved to where her best friend lives and has become security at a library, trying to get a promotion there. When she meets her male lead, and he's, I don't know if they were married, but he's broken up with his significant other. He has a child, and with all the things going on, his father dying and his mom moving away, his daughter is not speaking. He can't even get a laugh out of her. So one day he's at the library with his daughter, and his daughter kind of takes off, and Brooke tries to get her out of a playhouse thing. Ends up getting in a confrontation with him, and it goes from there. So we go between Brooke's point of view and Max about what their version of the whole what's going on. And at the point I'm at now, you can see them both kind of falling for each other, and it's kind of a really cute read. With that said, that's all I have for now. I'll see you in the next update. here with my next update. So far, I read the first fiction story in my Poe collection. I can't pronounce the title of the short story. And I listened to an audiobook of it and I still can't pronounce it. I'm not going to try because I'll just butcher it. I'm starting to see the madness that is Poe's signature. This one was mainly about rich people, and then there's this horse that's just comes out of nowhere out of a painting or portrait, I think it was. Overall, it was a bit confusing when I was just reading on my own because a lot of the words I couldn't say, couldn't pronounce them, and not knowing how to pronounce them, and there was foreign language in there as well. But overall, it was a decent read. With that said, the next thing I read was the next little short story in Ghost of Cincinnati. This one, it's hard to say if they should have kept it in here or not, because technically it's not even in Cincinnati, it's in Kentucky, but it is close to Cincinnati. And with that said, then you shouldn't have ones from Milford and Ludland in here as well. So I think it's more the Cincinnati area than Cincinnati itself, because there's so far been 3? Might be misremembering. 2 or 3 stories that actually take place inside Cincinnati. It might be a little more, but still, a good bit of them take place outside of Cincinnati. And even if it takes place in Cincinnati, things happen outside of it as well. This was one of the longer ones about a club, I think in Newport or around there, which is close to Cincinnati. And I've been to Newport a little bit. This one we got a little bit more of like the history, because there's multiple hauntings that they talk about, but still felt surface level to me. Like they're just giving you the bare bones of what's going on there. This one you had a ghost from probation, another one from different times and stuff, and it's like, okay, you're fitting this all in 12 pages or whatever it was. It felt very rushed, and I'm kind of forgetting what it's all about it too. I don't know if that's from a tiredness or if it was just not that appealing. Did make me want to look up though the club, if it's still around, because this is 09 and that's been 13 years ago. So probably it doesn't exist, or if it does, it's in another owner's hands. With that said, I have one more story left in this and I'll probably finish it later on today. So with that, I did read some more of The Girl by Courtney Summers. I'm still trying to piece things together because I'm only 30 pages into it and just got to part 1. It's a strange book, even the formatting's weird, because normally you have part 1, part 2, whatever they do parts, but no, part 1 is 30 pages into it, so we'll see where it goes from there. Finally, I finished The Sand, and I say it like that for a reason. This was a long, drawn out book that not a lot happens in. And I know King has a problem with endings, that a lot of his endings aren't well written, but normally the rest is pretty decent, and this one I just felt like it was a slog. It was boring, so I'll probably end up giving it a 2 stars, which is I think the lowest King book rating I have for him. I've had to double check on Goodreads, but like I literally couldn't tell you what happens. It feels like the beginning you have the outbreak of this flu, all heck breaks loose and people are trying to get to safety and you don't know what's really happening. It's not his best works, which is sad. I really do enjoy King's work, especially on audiobook, and that didn't even help. So with that said, later on today, after I wake up from my nap or whatever you want to call it, I'll pick up Nightbitch by Rachel Yoder and go from there. I'll probably read a little bit of my ebooks before bed, and I'll probably read a little more of The Girl, because I'm going to go take a bath and relax before bed. So with that said, I'll see you in the next clip here. Hey guys, here with another update. Before bed I read to page 48 in The Girl. Still a little confusing about what's going on, but also not very far in, so we'll see how I like this when I finish it. Earlier, after I woke up, I picked up Poe, listened to the next little short story in here. Not much to say really on it. Again, can't pronounce the title. And last night I was just tired by the time I laid down. I only read a little bit of Blood Mercy and got to page 45, so not very much into it. Finding it very hard to know who whose point of view we're talking from, or we're reading from, I should say, not talking. But that one is very, and I know it's a fantasy book, but it's very drawn out of what's going on, so we'll see if I like that by the end. I'm only 40 something pages into that, so we'll see with that. I haven't started Nightbitch yet or read any more Ghosts of Cincinnati. Probably after I film this, I'll read that story, and then I'll be done with that book, and I'll tell you what I think about it overall later. With that said, that's all I have for this update. See you in the next one. Hey guys, here with another update. So far I've only gotten to page 52 and I'm the girl. Hopefully I can focus more on that within the next couple of days. I want to get this done by Sunday, so with that said, did finish Ghosts of Cincinnati. Another story that had multiple hauntings, and they go into the history or they go into the haunting. It's either one or the other, and they don't give very much information at all. It's just like a brief glimpse of the story or the history behind the hauntings or the hauntings themselves. And sometimes they're like, oh, this is very haunted place, but you're not telling me how, and you're saying, oh, it has like all these different hauntings, and you've only talked about two or one, two, maybe three of them. So overall, it is an interesting read. Just not much to it. So with that said, probably 3 stars for this. Also, last few hours I've been just playing Breath of the Wild and listening to Nightbitch, and I just finished that a few seconds ago, and I'm gonna say it's very strange. It's a very strange book, but I enjoyed it. It had me intrigued, and I don't know if I would have enjoyed it if I knew a lot about it going in. I remember, I think it was BookswithBrittany who read this either last year or earlier this year, and I don't think she said much, but that's what caught me onto this one. That, and my husband was intrigued by it too. I doubt he'll read it, but it just deals with a lot of motherhood and losing your identity, kind of. But there's a twist to it, and I don't want to say what it is. But with that, I'll probably give this a 4-star. It's not a new favorite, and that's what as I've said before, I reserve 5 stars for new favorites. But other than that, I really did enjoy it. It had me intrigued. It had me just sitting there listening to it, like not even focusing on the game, just basically having the game on pause and listening to this at times. I'll go ahead and let you know what next audiobook I'll be reading. Last Chance book would probably be the next one I'll read on audio. So with that, that's all I have for this update, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, I'm here with another update. Earlier, after I woke up, I listened to A Tale of Jerusalem. Not much to say on it. It's whatever. I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's just these works are very hard for me to focus on, even with an audiobook. So with that said, I'll continue reading Poe, but I'm finding out there's probably some that I'm not going to care for, which is with any author. There's going to be works you don't like as much as the other ones. With that said, I did read a little bit of Born to Survive. Got to page 90, so I'm about 50% of the way through that book. I also read a chapter of The Mostly Real McCoy and got to page 118, about 44% of the way through that one. And I read a couple pages, maybe, not even a couple pages, just a couple swipes. I'm almost at the end of the chapter. I was so tired I couldn't read another page, so I just went to sleep. That said, I haven't picked up yet today since I've been awake on The Girl. I'll probably pick this up after I finish filming this clip, so see how far I get tonight with this one. Since I've started Last Chance books. I'm only on chapter 2, about 4% of the way through it. So far I'm liking it. I'm getting kind of a Romeo and Juliet type thing, but with books like taking place in bookstores. So we'll see how I like that. I've only listened to it while I was in the shower and while I was cleaning this morning before I started filming. That said, that's all I have read so far. I'll see you in the next update. Read a couple more short stories in here, kind of nonsensical. One was a mystery comedy. Overall, they were okay. Nothing would write home about, but that's all I gotta say on those. I got to page 86 and the girl is starting to get interesting. It's starting to get more interesting. It's also kind of like playing in my head as like a movie, which can be annoying for me because then I want to watch a movie again, and it's not a movie, it's just reading the book, and I'm not going to read the same scenes over and over again or whatever. I'm enjoying it. Still trying to figure out what's going on. We have this, I don't know if it's a resort or what, where the girl our main character starts working there despite what her mother wanted. Overall, I am enjoying it. I don't, at this point, don't know what I'll rate it in the end. We'll see how it ends. I still have a good bit of the way to go still, so we'll see. I listened to a little bit more of Last Chance book, about a chapter or so. It's not gripping me so far right now, so it's like I'm not wanting to listen to it, but we'll see if that changes at any time. And with that, that's all I have for this update. I'll see you later with another update. Here with my ending the video, I didn't read any more, so this weekend I'm hoping to finish this. I don't know if that will be achievable, but we'll see. I do have a wedding to go to tomorrow, so we'll see. As I said, I didn't read anything, so there's nothing to update about. So with that said, all the books I mentioned in this video will be down below, along with my Goodreads, Instagram, and my blog. And with that said, have a wonderful day. Bye.